I had two decisions really with the Facebook thing. I either felt sorry for myself and sat here doing nothing, or I create another opportunity for myself and dedicate some time to try and make it work.
Hello all and welcome to the Scouting Centre. My name is MrDizTV and I am your host for today. My guest today has had a heck of a year. He was last on last March, and in that time his Football Manager channel has over 35,000 subscribers. He's also become a full-time content creator. He had a contract with Facebook, and recently he's become a Twitch partner and also started a second channel making WWE2K content, which has nearly approached 10,000 subscribers. In his Football Manager tournament circle, he actually won one. He's won the playoffs. He was given a raw deal recently and he showed us how to turn lemons into lemonade. He is the FM King, the WWE2K GM mode extraordinaire. It is, of course, a Mega Luke. Luke, how are you?
Oh, good, mate. After that introduction, how could I not be? That is amazing.
It took me a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'll put that on the
how many
outtakes
takes
right
it
there.
took, audience.
Yeah. We won't discuss that. That'll be our secret. Apart from it'll be right at the end. So there's a hook for you. You can see how many times it took me. Yeah, mate. But it's great to have you on. How you doing, Luke?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you, mate. How are you?
I am not bad. I'm not bad. Firstly, thank you for once again deciding to appear on the Scouting Centre. I do really appreciate it.
No, it's honestly an honour. I mean, I get to talk to you. Obviously, we're really good mates off camera anyway, so it's nice to speak to you anyway as a friend. But yeah, I really enjoy these things. I really enjoyed our first chat over a year ago now, and at that point, I didn't even have a channel at that point because it had been hacked and turned into a Bitcoin channel. So at least I got it back.
That is absolute madness. I forgot to mention that. I probably should have hit it. So in the last year, you have gained 45,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Over two channels. But speaking of the year that you've had, and it's been a heck of a year, and we are going to go through it all. Have you got any personal highlights before we start picking through it?
The main one is doing this full time. Like I always wanted to do it as my main job as soon as I started doing YouTube, but it was always a case of with responsibilities of having a house, mortgage, and children on the way at the time. I didn't know whether I ever could, and like with the aspect of whether I could ever make it, obviously, whether I thought I was good enough to be and whether it was viable to do it. So the taking the plunge and doing that was one of the most scariest decisions I've ever really had to do because of the amount of responsibility I had. I used to say to the missus, like, if I was at home, I'd have been doing this full time a long time ago, whether I was ready for it or not. So the fact that I took the plunge and at this point, touch wood, it's going well for me, is definitely a personal highlight and something that I don't really like get proud of myself very often, but that's one of the things that whenever I get like a little moment to look back, I'm really proud of. Yeah.
And it hasn't been smooth while you've been full-time either, which we will go into later. So it's great to see that you've still got that positive outlook on it. I want to take you all the way back now into Football Manager 21, just near the end of it. One of the things that I like about it is that you're quite the innovator. And I feel you do a lot of innovative series. And one of them that's taken the Football Manager world by storm is the Rebuild series.
Yeah.
Where did that idea come from and how did you transfer it into Football Manager?
So I'm a big fan of NBA, and I used to play a lot of the NBA games, and a lot of the NBA game community do rebuilds, and it's like 5-10 years of rebuilding an NBA team, and they do it for pretty much all of the teams across the year with different challenges and aspects and stuff like that. And it's very much a simulation style, which I really do enjoy because it's quick fire. Although as much as I love diving into a really long-term save on Football Manager, like the seeing quick results and stuff and quick development from young players and etc. is I've always found quite fun. So I've always been doing like rebuilds without realising I was doing rebuilds when I was younger. So the actual idea came when my dad, who's a big Spurs fan, we were talking one day and he was mentioning about Harry Kane at the time was rumoured to be leaving. And I said to him, yeah, but you should be all right with Harry Kane if you buy the right players. And then that's when it kind of like thought into my head, I could do like a Tottenham Hotspur rebuild with selling Harry Kane. That will be a good aspect to do it. I don't know whether it will gain a lot of views or anything, but at that point in the game cycle, like things had started to die out a little bit. It was going into the summer. The Euros had just finished, so views weren't really prominent anyway. So it was more of just I can risk giving this a try. So I said to my dad, would you like to come on? You don't have to. And I basically explained the premise of the video, and he said, yeah, you'll give it a go just the one time though. That's all he said. I'll give it a go this one time and see what it's like. And it was a massive success, and I think it was even to the point where, because I titled it something like Selling Harry Kane, if you typed into Google Tottenham Hotspur selling Harry Kane or something like that, where it comes up as videos, mine was the first video on there. So watching that grow every time we refresh the views, which was absolutely mental. And of course, Dad became a bit of a superstar overnight because of it. And I actually have a special guest that I am very excited for you to meet. Hello viewers, this is my dad, as you can see, a Tottenham Hotspur fan. How you doing, Dad?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Well, it must be great to make videos with your dad. How has making videos with your dad brought you closer?
Oh, I love it, and he loves it too. Like, we get so excited whenever it's a recording day, and I've always been close to my dad, especially in most recent years. Like, I think we always, when I was like a teenager and he was working all the time, we drifted apart. Not as if like I didn't speak to him, but when I started like, you know, growing to the point where I was an adult and having children, like we obviously became even closer again. But this was like next level, because it's like spending time with him all the time, and he's just become semi-retired as well. So he's now part-time at work. So I see him like 2 or 3 times a week now, and I love it. And we get on so well anyway. He is basically like my best mate. So, and I always love speaking to him about football. What you see on the videos where me and Dad talk about football, maybe we go off on tangents, you're basically seeing what it's like when me and Dad are just watching a game of football. Because I'll ask him a question because I'm genuinely curious on his opinion, and I respect his opinion, because for years and years I've listened to him talk about football and thought, oh God, yeah, like he's right, or, you know, I really value his opinion. So through the videos and stuff, we've been able to do that and show people that side of thing. And I think that's one of the major reasons why those videos were successful for me, and why everybody loves Dad on my channel, is because you see how just down to earth he is and natural, and that's just him. Sometimes he forgets there's a camera there and he's just talking football, and that's what I love about those videos.
It's great to see, and you can see the positive relationship shining through. Didn't he get recognised yesterday?
He did, yeah. So, I mean, it's the 3rd time now he's been recognised outside, and I've never been recognised.
You're jealous, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're
other
jealous.
than one content creator. And somebody messaged me today, said, well, what's he doing different that you aren't? And I was like, probably leaving the house. He leaves the house a lot more than I do. So, yeah, fair play. He loves it, though. Yeah, he's dropping messages. Yeah, I charged him £5 for an autograph. Of course you did, Dad. Of course you did. Yeah.
Well, let's bring it forward now to the release of Football Manager 2022. You were one of 6 creators who was given pre-access, before the release to make content. How did that make you feel to kind of get that vindication?
So, I mean, like I mentioned before, me and you are quite close. We speak quite a lot off camera, and I always have like personal goals. And whether it's numbers or whether it's something like that, and a lot of people say don't do that, but I can't help it. I'm very goal driven. And one of my goals from the previous year was to get recognised by Football Manager as a content creator. When everybody was receiving their shirts that said their name on the back, I was jealous, because why wouldn't I be? I'm a content creator and I didn't get given a shirt. So, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a way for me to drive and try and do better and try and make my videos better, to be recognised. So the fact that they then came and I had a DM from them and an email saying we'd like to bring you into a core for the new game. Yeah, I felt an overwhelming sense of pride that goal was met, and you know, this opportunity is mental. Like the game that I have played for years and years, since before I was like a teenager. now the people who are creating this game are recognizing me as somebody that they'd like to express the new features and stuff like that with before the game's even released, and to talk about the game so we can ask questions about the game to them, was mental. And what an opportunity that is. Obviously, pre-COVID times and everything, it would have been different. It would have been, at the place where it was born, the headquarters type of thing, which obviously would be amazing. And I've seen like previous years when that's happened. So, I mean, I'm just grateful, really, to be honest. Like, going into a Zoom call with these massive creators that was there for this year, and little old me is like my first time. It was amazing, and I loved it, to be fair.
No, and it must have been just reward for all the hours that you've put in. But then pretty soon after that, you became a full-time content creator. Why was that the right time to become that full-time content creator?
So, if anything, in my head now, I look at it as I was running out of time. Because, I mean, as you know, and a lot of people know, I had a second child on the way. Little Louie was born in January, all happy and healthy. But I knew full well how hard one child was. And then we were having 2 under 2, so I knew it was going to be difficult. And I knew how much time it took out of being a content creator for just the one child. And I knew that's going to be even worse than double the amount, because both of them together, my wife isn't going to be able to cope all the time. So if I'm then going to work at my full-time job and then coming home and going, look, I needed to record a video, I'm not going to have time to do that. So it was more of a case of I've got until January to become a full-time creator, or at least a part-time creator, so that I could, have viable time to put towards doing this. Else, basically, I had to pick between work or my hobby. At the time is what it was. I needed to make my hobby my work. So the rebuilds really helped. Like the channel was thriving. I was getting the most views I ever did in a month, but it was like August instead of where it should have been in November, December when the game first came out. So that really like pushed my channel, and I could see how I could make it a full-time job, and thinking about what I need to do and stuff like that. So when it got to the point where I was earning enough that if I had a part-time job, I could make up for my full-time wage, it took a little bit of persuading to the wife, but she kind of understood the more time I put into it, the better off we would be in the long run. So I did all I could. I found a job delivering Asda food for a few weeks, and that's what I did.
Only the greatest work at Asda.
That's true. Yeah.
But pretty soon after, like within 2 weeks of getting that Asda job, you got offered a Facebook contract.
Yeah. Well,
that must have been an absolute like dream.
Yeah, it's a bit strange how it happened all at the same time. I remember going into the Asda office, and they were like, "Oh, look, we're going to add you to the WhatsApp group now, the drivers group, so you understand all the routes and everything. Is that all right?" And I was like, "It's no point, lads. I've just had my notice in." They were like, "You've only been here 2 weeks." So it didn't last long. As much as like the job was, it served a purpose and everything. It was going to be like a long-term thing, and I didn't really mind it, to be honest. I was out in my van enjoying myself, but when I received the email from Facebook about jumping into a call, I was a bit dubious. I thought, no, I'm not a live streamer like that. But when they told me it was video content and gave me the rundown and the contract offer, I was snapping the hands off, because it meant that I could do this, my dream job, as my full-time job, which is obviously the goal that I've been trying to achieve for the last 2 or 3 years, really, or 2 years at the time.
We will go back into like how that ended, but during all this time, you all of a sudden became newsworthy. You were everywhere. Like you were on the radio. You were in newspapers.
Yeah, I was famous. I was.
Yeah,
just
exactly
say it.
that.
Just say it. I was famous.
I'm trying to keep your ego in check. But yeah, you were everywhere. Like, how mad was that?
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. So it started off with just my local newspaper, which was amazing to begin with anyway, the Plymouth Herald. And I just had a DM from somebody. So I basically posted that I had got the Facebook contract on my personal Facebook account. Because a lot of people on my personal Facebook don't follow my social medias, but they're always asking, oh, how's the YouTube channel going? So I post quite a lot on there, because then I always get people commenting saying, oh, you're doing amazing, like keep it going and stuff. And it's just nice, isn't it? Like it's not like a brag or anything on there. It's more of a case of, oh, big milestone hit, like this is amazing. Can't believe I'm doing this as like a job or whatever. But also at the same time, where I had left my full-time job, like 4 weeks before that, I remember them when I left, they said to me, if it doesn't work out, you're more than welcome to come back. And it was more of a case of, I want to post this so you know it worked out really, really quickly. Just a sort of like an up yours type of thing. In a nice way, of course, because I left on great terms. But when that happened, I had a DM from a reporter in the Plymouth Herald who wanted to do a story on it. So I thought, that's amazing, that's class. So I did that, and he basically told me then, he said, we share these stories with nationwide news outlets. So you might get a phone call if you're happy for us to share your details with nationwide outlets, news outlets. So I said, yeah, of course, yeah. And then by the end of the day, I was getting emails from TalkSport about going on there, like BBC Radio 5 Live about going on that as well. And it was crazy. I can't remember what newspaper it was. It might have been The Star. I mean, whatever they wrote was wrong anyway, but that's
the Daily Star and the Daily Mirror.
That's the danger of paparazzi, by the way, because they interviewed me and they put direct quotes, and not one of those things did I actually say. It's very dangerous that they can post things like that. They post obviously what they feel like they need to. But yeah, I mean, the Hawksby and Jacobs, I mean, that's meant to, I always listen to Hawksby and Jacobs. They were, out of everybody who's done TalkSport for a while, as in like presenter-wise, I always loved those two. Because I used to listen to them while I was at one of my previous jobs after lunch. That's they're on in the afternoon. So the fact that I had a message from Hawksby and Jacobs' Twitter channel, and they followed me, and they were like, yeah, we'd love to get you on and stuff. That was mental. And even Football Manager themselves, they emailed me, I can't remember his name now, but it's the spokesperson for Football Manager, said like, oh, we've been requested by TalkSport to give you your email address. Would that be okay? And I said, yeah. And they even said to me then, like, oh, it's amazing the publicity that you're getting. Congratulations and stuff. So even Football Manager recognised it as well, which is awesome, of course. But yeah, they had messaged me already on Twitter. They found my Twitter account and a message, but oh my god, I was so nervous doing the Hawksby and Jacobs. The other one I was fine with, because I don't really listen to it that much, and I didn't really know the presenter. I recognise his voice, and it was on, like, I think it's BBC Radio 5 Live, but which is still class. But because it was TalkSport and because it was Hawksby and Jacobs, I was shaking. I was so nervous, but it was brilliant. They were so welcoming and like really friendly, and they didn't like downplay it, or you play video games for a living, what's that all about? Because obviously it's a different generation to them. They were genuinely curious. Yeah. So they asked genuine questions, and they sounded really interested. They wanted to know my opinions on my actual team and stuff. So it was cool. It was so cool. So yeah, absolutely love that.
I can imagine, out of all the things that happened when you decided to go full-time content creation, that was probably one of the most surprising things that could have ever happened.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Like, when people mention it, I go, oh my god, yeah, I've done that. It's one of the, like, it doesn't feel real until somebody else mentions it to me. It's a very strange feeling, I think. But it's, yeah, my 15 minutes of fame. I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant.
Well, the thing was, like, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it snowballed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because you went from local to national, and then you were international when you take into account radio stations are available everywhere. It was just absolutely a mad time for you, and it was so great to see you getting that recognition you deserve. But then probably the most amazing thing happened that has happened over the last year, which is your second son being born, Louis.
Yeah.
How has that changed your outlook with content?
Oh, it's been difficult, Diz, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it's very difficult. I think the hardest part about it is I'm working from home, so I can hear everything that's going on downstairs. And obviously for the wife, it's obviously difficult. I'm upstairs, so she needs a hand. she's going to ask me. But at the same time, I'm supposed to be working. I need to get work. But I don't have a start time and I don't have a finish time. So some days where we'll go, yeah, well, you know, we need to treat this like a full-time job. You need to be up there in the office by 8:30, come down at 4:30 for the kids' teas and stuff like that so they can have bath time. And if you need to do anything else, then you can go back up and stuff. It's never easy to do like that. And, you know, I'll come down sometimes for lunch to make myself some lunch. And Max, who's a little bit old now, he's 2 years old. He don't understand that I'm up there working. He doesn't know that. He's then dragging me along, trying to play with me, and he gets upset if I go upstairs and stuff. And I'm down there then for like 2 hours. So there's 2 hours of the day gone. So it does make it a lot more difficult, but at the same time, like, it's so rewarding, man. And he is a little bruiser. Like, Louis is massive. Like, he is 3 months old, and every time my mum and dad like see him after like 6 days of not seeing him, they're like, "Oh my god, why are you feeding him? He's massive." But yeah, he's lovely. Like, he just doesn't like sleeping on me, which is so the wife has to deal with a lot of that. But yeah, it's the hardest job in the world, but it's the most rewarding. I think anybody who has kids will agree. Yeah, it's amazing to see them grow up and have like little characters and little personalities and stuff, especially like Max being 2 years of age now. He's got his own little personalities. He's so loving and so adorable. And Louis' little, not personality because he's too probably young for that, but his little reactions and like his little laugh and stuff that he's starting to use now is it's just so rewarding at the same time. But it is difficult. It's very difficult, especially working from home. Especially knowing, but at the same time, like I'm saying, like it's a bad thing. At the same time, it's amazing because if you're at work and you're having a crummy day on an actual, like, say if I was at my previous job and I was having a crap day, and I thought I need something to cheer myself up, I've got that within 7 or 8 steps. Go downstairs and I get to see him, and it will cheer me up, and I'll forget about anything that upstairs was worrying me or troubling me. I've got that at the palm of my hand. So as well as it's being difficult and hard to do work from home, at the same time you get the positives of going downstairs and they will cheer you up instantly. Unless they're being little shits, then they will.
But it's just about adapting and learning learning the rules, isn't it, of what it means for you to be working from home.
Yeah, 100%. It's a work in progress, and at the same time, like, you know, sometimes the wife will be like, well, you know, they've both gone to bed now, they're both asleep. Should we sit down and watch something? And I'll be like, I'd love to, but I can't because I spent 2 hours down here playing with Max earlier when he was having a tantrum, so I need to make up for that time back upstairs. And this job is like, you know, everybody says like this is a dream job. This is a dream job, but I've never worked harder. And that's not just because I was a terrible work colleague at my previous job, because I know I was terrible at my job and I didn't really work hard. I worked smart, not hard. But I've never worked harder than this job. I've never worked more hours. I've never put more time, more thought process outside of work than I ever have with doing this job. And I think anybody, you know, Ben, Jack, they've all said it before. You put so much time and effort into this job than you would any other job. But at the same time, it's your dream job. So, you know, that saying, you know, you don't work a day in your life if you do something you love. It's still work. It's still tiring. It's still mentally draining, as well as, you know, I feel physically tired at the end of the day just by sat here looking at a screen. It sounds silly to say. It happens. Until you do it 8 to 10 hours a day. But, you know, I've never worked harder.
But I think that's where, if you're working for something that you're passionate about, you're working harder than you've ever worked before, but it's easier to put in that hard work.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I've got the trouble is, I think it's the big thing is motivation. When I was at my previous job, I had no motivation for that job. Whether it was because I didn't like the job, whether it was because people at the job used to annoy me, the company, you feed you bullshit, whatever, and you don't like what's happening, how you've been treated, etc. The motivation to do a good job, there isn't really one. And I used to always say, I've got no motivation today, I don't think I've said that at all, that I've never got no motivation to work at this job. I've said I'm tired, I'm too tired to do this, I'm too tired to record, maybe one day if I've been up with the kids and got no sleep. but I've never said I've got no motivation. And that's the main factor of this. I want to work hard at this. I want to make this a full-time living, and I want to keep improving every day because I love doing this. And that's the big difference from a previous full-time job to this job is motivation.
Well, we talk about how you have to keep motivation. You are a very busy person. You've got 2 YouTube channels that you're making, pretty much daily content for. You're then doing your wrestling, which you do. You dedicate a day to pretty much every weekend and an evening, I think, a week. You then doing like being a dad. And then there's occasionally you Twitch stream now, and we will go into your Twitch in a minute. Like, how is it balancing all these balls? Hello all, I really hope you're enjoying the Scouting Centre so far. Obviously a mega Luke, an amazing guest. If you are enjoying, can I just ask you, do me a favour, please like this video, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, leave a comment below. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much for listening, but please can you make sure you give us that 5-star review? It would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the interview.
It's a nightmare. There's always a sacrifice, and that's something that I'm getting easier to not understand, but I'm getting easier to accept that something always has to be sacrificed. At the minute, it's wrestling training. I ain't been to wrestling training for like 4 weeks. I've been to wrestling matches when I've had them, but training for me at the minute, I haven't been able to do because of an evening. I'm trying to catch up on what I haven't been able to do during the day for certain other reasons. And then I'm sure at one point the tables will turn and I'll get so motivated at wrestling, it'll be, I'll have no social life for a while. Which at the minute I kind of do. I'll go to the cinema once a month if there's a good Marvel movie or a good film that I want to see, or I'll go see my friends who are down from up the line, my in real life friends or whatever. So I kind of have a bit of a social life, not as much as what I used to. But yeah, I mean, you've always got to prioritize something, and at the minute, family and work is the 2 things I want to prioritize the most. Then it's wrestling because it's the thing that I really enjoy the most outside of doing this, is creating content. And then it's social life. So it's a balance, and it's something that you've got to accept that something is always going to be sacrificed. And the hardest thing I think to do is to make other people accept that. So when my friends say, let's go do this, and I'm saying, no, I can't. I can't for this reason. So, for instance, my friend loves playing Fortnite. I love playing Fortnite with my friend. We have a great time when we play Fortnite. And when he'll message me saying Fortnite, because he knows I'm at home, and I go, no, I've got work to do, he's like, you're literally at home with the computer in front of you. Just turn it on. I'm like, I can't. Like, I have to prioritize this. So the balance, once you accept it, the hardest thing is getting other people to accept it.
Talking about the wrestling, obviously the last 6 months, speaking to you regularly, your wrestling has gone, it's gone through the roof, haven't you? Like, you're regularly booked, you've got matches, 2 or 3 matches a weekend. That seems to have really taken off. What do you put that down to? And also, where do you think that could go?
So I think I put it down to just before like Christmas, I went hard at it. I went really hard at it. I was going training twice a week. I was fitness plan. I was trying to watch as much as possible. And I started getting like a lot of matches in a row, singles matches, and I felt like I was becoming more comfortable with it. And in the wrestling business, it's all about getting over, per se, is once you've got your character over, there's a reason for you to be booked. I have a tag team partner now where we've built a storyline by ourselves. We've built the storyline as well. It wasn't booked to be that way, but we've just always got on so well that I find his character hilarious. Everybody always says, oh, you two as a partnership, gotta happen one day. We built ourselves a long-term storyline, and we had a match just before Christmas where we did the old Shawn Michaels kicking Ric Flair, I'm sorry, I love you spot in the match. I reversed it into no, sorry, I love you, and then finished him off and pinned him, and then cried because I pinned him and beat him. And was like checking that he was okay, and made it just like so funny and like peculiar that it got to the point where one day my coach just said, you're in a tag match on the weekend, And I go, okay, he's my tag team partner. And he was like, who do you think? And I was just like, yes, come on, let's go. And it finally happened. And since then, like me and Dan, or DBJ, Danny Boy Johnson, the wrestler, yeah, we took off. Like, people are loving what we're doing, and I'm really loving doing it.
Who's live from Danny Boy? This is it. These guys are Woogaloo team together so well, and this is the thing. They know exactly what they need to do.
Using each other as an offensive weapon. Oh, and the senton. Woogaloo goes for the cover.
We're having so much fun wrestling together. We've done a couple of live shows now. We've done a lot of tape shows as well. As we're recording this, the evening before, we both had a singles title shot where we're both in each other's corner. We had a tag match all on the same card. So the whole Unit 10, we're in 3 of the matches, and there's only 5 matches on the card. So wow. We're very popular at the minute, and you gotta ride those waves, because in wrestling it doesn't happen very often. But yeah, like you say, we're getting booked in other companies near us. We're being booked in June near you in Birmingham. So if anybody ever wants wow. in the Birmingham area wants to go watch that, EVM, I think it's June 19th, around about that time. We're facing off against the Brothers Orr, which is a very good tag team. So that's exciting. But it's something that I always wanted to happen. I always loved tag team wrestling. And as much as like I think I was going down a very good singles run for this year, I'm really glad that the plans changed and it switched, and me and Dan all of a sudden became something, and a little spark happened, and yeah, Woogaloo, as we're calling it.
Woogaloo, I love that.
Just a funny name, but yeah, as that came about, that's been really cool, and I've been enjoying every single minute of it, because he's a great wrestler, he's such a good character, and I have to do nothing to promote us because he does it all. Every tweet, every Facebook post that he does, he will include me in it. And it's absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, props to him.
Well, haven't you been booked on, is it the WAW, the Ricky Knight?
Yeah, I did a camp show for Ricky Knight's camp show.
And so for those who don't know, Ricky Knight, the wrestling family, includes Paige from WWE.
Yeah, Paige's dad.
So, yeah, Paige's dad runs that. So that's pretty special, isn't it? Like you seem to be going more national rather than local, and you seem to start spreading your wings a little bit. Could we be seeing you on NXT UK anytime soon?
Do you know, so my coach always he will go around and he'll ask, and he's very like peculiar with things, and he was like, so what's your dream in wrestling? And my dream always was, I just want a title that's local, and I just want to be around the area. I want to have some good matches with some good people, and then just enjoy it. So he's like, so you don't want to go into NXT UK? And I'm like, no, I haven't got time for that. I haven't got time to go up to the performance center and, get into really good wrestling shape. What am I gonna do for the YouTube channel? Then I ain't gonna have time for that. So I mean, if they called and said, to come in for a match with DBJ and do a tag match against, I don't know, their tag team champions or whatever, yes, of course I would. I'd absolutely love to. But it's not something that I'm aiming for. At the minute, I'm just looking to do the local companies around me and just have a little bit of fun, wrestle against some of my friends, which I've been doing recently. So I wrestled against Jordan Sparks and Victor Brady, the 2 people that I started the training with. They're a tag team now, and we wrestled against them, and we got another match against them in July for their tag team title belts. So I'm hoping to take them off them, so that'll be fun. So things like that is what I look forward to a lot more than anything else. If I had to pick one company that I would love to work for, it's Progress, because that's always been my go-to to watch. But I'm not at that level yet. No way. I'd have to wrestle a few more matches before I got to that level for sure, because there's some incredible independent wrestlers around there. But for now, doing the WAW camp shows and things like that, did a couple of matches there. Did OCW. I've got EVM up in Birmingham coming up soon. Yeah, those things like that are really cool, and I really enjoy that. I didn't mention it, but the most amazing thing is there's been like a couple of viewers through Football Manager who have been like, oh, you're wrestling there, I'm coming to watch. So shout out to Dean Harris. He drove down like 2 hours, watched my live match with DBJ in a tag match. Met him after the show, 20 minutes. First time I've met like a viewer or anything like that. And he come all the way down. He was wearing the same hat I've got on right now that he had bought years ago. Supported that he's watched for a long time. That's one of the most coolest things that I've had in wrestling so far. To come out through the curtain. I knew he's there, but to come out through the curtain and see my hat in the crowd for somebody who's drove down 2 hours to watch, amazing. And he spoke to my dad as well, which was quality. So yeah, very nice feeling that is. Very humbling.
Well, that's great to hear. But and there is one other thing I want to ask. Weren't you really close to wrestling Simon Miller?
Oh, so close. So close.
Tell us about, for those who don't know, Simon Miller, host on What Culture Wrestling, currently also one of the announcers for Progress Wrestling.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us what happened.
Why? Here's why.
I'm so annoyed. So he is also the reason, I think I mentioned it last year when I did the Scouting Centre, he is the reason why I do content creation.
Yeah.
I went on his podcast, went on it second time. By the second time, he told me, look, you need to do your own because you're too good at it not to. So that's why I started my own podcast. Always spoke to him since. He's been down at Reach twice now. The first time I just started training. I think I'd been at the training centre for like 2 weeks at that point. And I met him. And as soon as I said, I don't know if you remember, he went, Luke. I'm like, yes. So he recognised me straight away. I had a good conversation with him. And he said, are you training now? So I said, yeah. He goes, one day we're going to have a wrestling match, whether it be tag team or against each other. And I'm going to look forward to it because he is just genuinely that nice.
Yeah.
You know, you see him in the videos and stuff. That's just him. He's not putting on a facade. He is just genuinely that nice of a person. He is exactly how you'd hope to be. And yeah, I was so close to wrestling him, but one day it will happen. But it was more of a case of like my coach had a good storyline because obviously he's a big famous YouTuber. I'm a very smaller YouTuber, but at Reach Wrestling, I call myself the Reach Wrestling YouTube superstar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was doing that when I only had like 5,000 subs. So, you know, I was being arrogant back then as a bad guy in wrestling. So, you know, the fact that now I can brag and go, I'm bigger than ever, it's easy work for me as a bad guy to do that. But when he comes to town and he eclipses me doing What Culture videos, which have got millions and millions of views, worldwide known person, he did. So he was supposed to be coming down to do an event, and I was on commentary the event before, and I had a cue to say, you know, he's coming down to my turf. I'm the YouTube superstar around here. He's a nobody. How dare he come down and stuff like that. He's stepping on my toes and all of that business. That was the storyline we were going for. And then whether he was going to have a match, and then I don't know whether I was supposed to do something after. It never got explained to me, but then it was going to lead to a match. And unfortunately, I couldn't make the booking. They couldn't make the booking. But I don't think he actually could make the booking either. So whether it's something we go towards down in the future, but now obviously I'm on a different path with the tag team run that I'm in right now, because that was a lot more of a singles run. I don't know whether it will ever come into fruition again, but he is definitely being booked down at Reach Wrestling more in the future because they love him and he loves coming down here. And he's a big draw, like, because it's Simon Miller, for Christ's sake. So everywhere he goes, he's a big draw. So whether it happens in the future, possibly, but as like a bucket list of people who you want to wrestle, he is up there for me as probably the top one outside of like my mates who really want to wrestle. Because to me, it's more of a personal thing. I don't look at it and go, you know, Walter as the NXT UK champion, I want to wrestle him. Or Ilya Dragunov, I want to be wrestling him. I'd rather wrestle personal people. And to me, he is the biggest of those personal people because I've spoke to him in the past. I've watched loads and loads of his videos. I get on really well with him. You know, I've done podcasts with him. He's been on my podcast when I had it. So as a personal level, yeah, he is definitely up there for me.
Yeah, he's also a dream guest for me on the Scouting Centre. But one day,
when I wrestle, I'll get him in a headlock and I'll go, boy, I'll let you
will
go
you be
if
on the
go on
Scouting Centre?
Yeah.
Will you be on the Scout? I'm actually pretending I've
He'd be
got
like,
him
"What?
in a headlock.
What's that? And I'm like, listen here, right?
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Right, let's get back to your Twitch channel and your streaming. You obviously accomplished one of your long-term goals of becoming a Twitch partner.
Yeah.
That must have been an amazing feeling, obviously, because I know how hard you worked for it.
Oh, about time. Fifth time lucky. That's the saying, isn't it? The fifth time
Yeah.
lucky. God.
I hear that all the time. All the
Yeah.
time.
Jesus. It was. I worked hard for it. Again.
Yeah.
I work hard for the goals, but yeah, I got it. It was more of like setting a routine out, really. Like I started doing the Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning streams, which I love doing. Because when I was doing the streaming in the evening, if I was working during the day, then streaming during the evening, it would get to like 9 o'clock, and I've been at work since 8 o'clock. Come home at 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'd spend time with the kids. Then I'd maybe do something for a video, have my tea. Then I'd go up and start streaming at 9 o'clock. What a long day. I'd be so tired. And when you're streaming, you know as well as I do, you have to put a bit of enthusiasm into it, else nobody's going to bother watching. I mean, prime example, look at RDF. As soon as he started, releasing his not his character, but, opening up and enjoying himself on stream, look at the numbers. They're flying in, and fair play. And, he deserves it. But you can't go on there and be... Oh, I'm knackered. Thanks for everybody who's watching and keep coming back, because it just wouldn't work that well. So, yeah, I found a nice little schedule in the morning. Started really enjoying it. The numbers were great. Applied one or two times, 5, and got rejected. And then eventually I got the acceptance to be a Twitch partner, which, as you mentioned, was a big goal for me. For a very long time, I wanted to become a Twitch partner. Just not for like any other reason than to say I've managed to do it as like an accomplishment, really.
And you've kind of backed off from Twitch a little bit since. Obviously, you came back last night. You were involved in a tournament. Is that something we'll see more of in the future? You being in more Football Manager tournaments?
Yeah, it's more of a time thing. When I lost the Facebook contract, I needed to find a way of retaining that income again. And Twitch really was just a hobby for me. It was the last thing out of all of the content that I do that was a priority, because it wasn't making as much money as anything else. And out of everything that I do prefer doing videos than I do live streams, as much as I love doing the live streams. So it was the reason why I don't stream as much anymore is mainly because of a time thing, because I know I need to put my time in the mornings now, because that's like 6, 7 hours, 8 hours of a week that I could be put into videos. And now that I've got a second channel that I need to do as much content for, I just simply don't have the time to. But the one thing that I love doing in the Football Manager community is taking part in these competitions. Absolutely love it. Whether it's a streamer showdown, whether it's a brand new competition that's just come up, I'll always love to take part, because it's the competitive side of me that I wanted to compete and I want to do good. And at one point I was ranked second out of everybody, in behind only Careful Alujo, who, let's face it, nobody wants to see at the top. So I was the people's champion for a while, for a month, whatever, after being absolutely dead last like 4 months before that. So, I was doing well in competitions and I was enjoying myself. Like you mentioned, I won the playoffs at one point without even using an attacking midfielder or a striker. So, I love doing the competitions and things like Wasted Possession with the great guys like Ali and Alice and Owen on the panel. They're always fantastic. I love doing those competitions. Same as the playoffs with like Mozza and crew and the Super League now. Jack is taking over the Super League from FM Works, and I'm involved in that one in a couple of days' time. And I'm looking forward to that one. So all of these like competitions, they're so healthy, and it's obviously off the back of the success that the Streamer Showdown has. And we had some great fun with the Streamer Showdown a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? I mean,
What? 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 No!
replacing you on the panel, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
How I kept that secret from you, I will never know. Ben was on me.
I will never know either. The fact is, right, the fact that you and Ben, right, who I feel like I've got, really good relationships with you both. Obviously, me and you are quite close. Me and Ben, I feel like we can speak if we need to. The fact that it was kept from me, that was madness.
Yeah, so Ben, I don't know if he said this to you, but when Ben said it to me, he was like, obviously, don't tell anybody about it, so I didn't. And then you would ask me, because normally as soon as like something, a streamer showdown comes up, it's like, oh, are you in it? You know, you're on the panel. What are you doing? You taking part? Because with mates, like I mentioned, we talk quite a lot. I speak to you the most out of anybody other content creator, and like I didn't ask you, I just didn't. And then when it finally the conversation come round, I was like, no, I'm just helping out behind the scenes. And then Ben asked me the same day. He was like, oh, you haven't spoke to Diz or anything? Yeah. Or he asked me whether I was doing anything. What did you say? Oh my God, has this been compromised? Like, no. He still thinks I'm just helping out. He doesn't know a thing.
well, the month before, what had happened was on the Wednesday, my internet went out.
Yeah.
So on the Wednesday, Maggio had to come in, and it was quite like late notice. But like I told Ben and like to begin with, like, you know, I've got internet issues here, and like they've said it's going to be sorted by this time, but it's not being sorted. So then I thought a natural coming up from that would have been having a reserve standby. Now,
Yeah.
I remember seeing your name on the list of like, just in case.
Yeah.
You know, like we have this document beforehand with the outline, just in case someone can't make it. And I thought that was natural because
Yeah.
of what happened to me on the season 2. So it made sense to me, right?
Yeah.
Just in case somebody has to drop out, just in case somebody has an issue. Never in my wildest dreams did I think, oh, right, yeah, you're going to replace me and I'm going to be in the streamer showdown.
Mystery number 9.
Yeah, mystery manager number 9. They did all that for me. I was like, what the heck?
Oh, it was
like-
amazing feeling, because at the same time I was in the call with likes of Millie and stuff, who were going to write down all the draft people for the graphics so we can get that out onto the lowdown as quick as possible. Like obviously, like Ben mentions, the machine behind the showdown that you don't see is just as big as what you do see. So, you know, I was in the call with the guys and they were going, oh, who do you think it is, Luke? I'm like, I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue. Don't know. And then all of a sudden, when you get announced, I'm like, right, guys, I'll see you later on. I'm on the lowdown. Chill. And they're like, what?
Well, that's the thing as well, right? Because when I am announced, and I'm there thinking, just before I'm announced, I said, I think I was taking the mick or whatever, because the panel was quite spicy. It was quite nice, to be fair. And I was saying, get rid of somebody. Who was it? Lelujo, get rid of Lelujo, get a Mega Luke in here. Yeah. Get a Mega Luke in here or something like that, and we're all sorted.
Yeah, I know you said it.
I said that because I saw your name on the as the reserve, so to speak, just in case. And and then it actually happened, but it was me. It was me. Yeah. Oh God.
It was priceless. I think there was 2 things that you said which actually came to fruition, but you said it jokingly without realising. It was mental.
Oh, it was good times. But it's great to see you, like obviously in the tournament circuit, and I know you have a lot of fun with that. However, something that wasn't fun was obviously Facebook pulling their contract. Now, the initial contract was meant to be 12 months.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, you've got 2 children, Solf as well. You've then also got the fact that this is your full-time job. How much of a blow was that, and how expected was it?
I expected it. I seen it coming a mile off. I seen it coming first month.
Yeah.
It's a massive blow because it was basically my full-time wage. That's exactly what I was getting paid from there, was what I was getting paid from my full-time job. So it was a huge blow, really. So I seen it coming because I remember the first month when we started uploading, somebody messaged me saying, oh, where's your videos on Facebook? So I was like, I'll find it for you. I couldn't find my own videos. On my own page, I could not find my own videos. I was going to my page on my phone, scrolling down. Well, where's the video section? Could not find it. All I could find was like videos that I had posted for like sponsors, not the gaming side of things. So, well, that's stupid. Why is that the case? I'll search it. So I went on the top, searched Omega Luke Gaming, like Football Manager page. Nothing. I went on to the Football Manager page itself, went down to videos. Go on to videos, nothing. Even though we tagged ourselves as doing Football Manager 2022 videos, when you go on the game, you cannot find it. So I raised the query. Why can't I find my own videos unless I actually have the link from the post that I make about that video? You cannot go and find it. There's no search algorithm. There's no recommendation list. I don't understand why I can't do it. Oh yeah, we'll run that by. We'll double check it. You know, we'll put it up. Okay. Next thing, I'm not being monetized. Why am I not being monetized? Oh, I don't know. We'll look into it. So all of my videos, the first like month and a half, weren't monetized. Even though I was promised, you get all of your ad revenue as well. And I don't mind like saying it's crap now because I've left and they've sacked me. Technically, they sacked me. So I don't mind saying how much of a crap platform I think it is. But I think it's a terrible platform. I really do. Honest opinion now. They were great to pay me for 6 months of a contract. But the reason why I was sacked is not because I'm not a good creator, because I've proved that on 2 different channels and 2 different games, I can grow an audience. But you've got to give me the tools to be able to grow that audience. You've got to give me the ability to be found in a search engine by new audiences. You've got to give me the ability to be found in an algorithm of recommendations. Facebook gaming doesn't have that. The fact that somebody cannot find my videos unless I give them a direct link to that video is shocking. It's really, really bad. And it never changed. And the reason why we weren't getting many views... I mean, I remember I actually had a message, and I said this to the guy who I was dealing with at Facebook Gaming. Somebody messaged me saying, I've had to stop watching your series, Luke, on Facebook. So I said, why is that? I thought, crap, what have I done? Have I offended him or something? He said, well, I can't find episode 6. Because I found episode 7. I can't find episode 6. I was like, you serious? He's like, yeah, I can't find it. So he said, I've just give up. I can't find episode 8, 9. I can see 10. But I can't see the other episodes. And I've posted it all exactly the same. So that the actual platform itself is just so weird and broken. And I don't understand what they're trying to achieve with it. They're pumping so much money into creators to bring them across. But what do they expect to do? The creators to just grab their whole YouTube audience and just pull them over to Facebook Gaming. I don't understand it. And now, I see loads of posts from the Facebook gaming creators going, it's all about Reels. It's like Instagram. It's all about Reels. So why were you getting us to do VOD content then? Of 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. Why were you getting us to do that if it's all about Reels? Why are we only supposed to be discovered if we do real content? We're supposed to be discovered like on YouTube. The reason why you came to us is because we had a good following on YouTube, which we were successful from doing by using the YouTube algorithm and doing, good content whilst being searchable. So, yeah, I seen it coming a mile off. Really did. But, yeah, it was a huge blow at the same time. But it was one of those things. If one door closes, you smash another one open. And that's basically the mentality that I had. And I tell you what, shout out to her, the wife. I was dreading telling her. Yeah. Because, obviously, like I said, it's my full-time wage. She had put her trust in me to be able to do this as to put a roof over our head and our children and put food on the table. And I went down and told her, and she just went, oh, all right. And that was it. And I was expecting tears. I was expecting to be like, I'm so sorry. I'll go on the job market the next day. But it wasn't. It was, oh, okay. And that was it. So shout out to her.
Well, you talked about having the future opportunities, making your own opportunities. Well, what I think really inspired me was knowing you just had this massive setback, this massive financial deficit. You kind of took some time, you chilled out, you had a think, and you decided you were going to make WWE2K content because there was still some time that you were going to get paid. And you were like, let's just see what happens on my second channel.
Yeah.
Your WWE2K content has absolutely exploded. You've got something like close to 10,000 subscribers in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Absolute madness, right? Why did you decide that was the right time to make 2K content, bearing in mind the setback you just suffered?
I had 2 decisions really with the Facebook thing. I either felt sorry for myself and sat here doing nothing, or I create another opportunity for myself and dedicate some time to try and make it work. Like you say, I knew I had a little bit of time. I knew that the Facebook payments, because they took so long to go through, I had another couple of months grace, and with sponsorships as well really helped. So I knew I had a couple of months before financially I'd have to start looking for another part-time job to complement my main YouTube channel to be able to pay for my bills. So I knew I had a little bit of time. I had just started playing the WWE2K game on my Facebook. I had done like 2 episodes before I got told they were cancelling it. So I thought, you know, this is an enjoyable game. I like playing it. There's probably an audience on YouTube already. I'll just start uploading. I've got a monetized channel, which was just all of my my streams just put on YouTube, which is just built up and just become monetized that month. Why not just give it a try? So I recorded myself playing the 2K content one night, posted it, thinking, hey, if it gets 100 views, it's 100 views. And it got like 100 views in like an hour. And I was like, whoa, that's good for this channel. Like, you know, for my main channel, it would suck, but it would be good for this channel. And it just kept going and kept going. And I thought, I need to capitalize on this. So the next day I uploaded another one. And it was just started snowballing. And like you say, like within the month of April was one of the craziest months I think I've ever seen in my very small content creation journey, because my main channel had a resurgence. I think it was like a 25% growth of views and subs. So I think that was great of April for my Football Manager channel. But the wrestling channel beat it in views, watch time, subscribers by a lot, and most importantly, obviously for me as a full-time content creator, revenue. It eclipsed it all in the first month of doing it on a brand new monetized channel with just 1,000 subs, which none of those subscribers were subscribing for 2K content. It was just all brand new viewers. So yeah, mental. But again, like I say, it was a case of either I just sat there and felt sorry for myself, or I give something a try to make it work. And you know, thankfully at the minute, I'm looking at a point where I might not ever have to look for another part-time job until YouTube just disappears or whatever. Like, you know, nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. But for now, I might not have to, because with both of the channels, I can possibly get a full-time wage doing what I love and playing 2 different games instead of just the one, so I don't get burnt out on one. And hopefully, if they're really kind, one can be released 6 months away from the other, and I could be fine. That would be great. Yeah.
You know what I absolutely love, right? Is the fact that you're doing Football Manager, you love the game. You wrestle, you love that. But then you also love playing wrestling games.
Yeah.
And now you've got 2 different channels which are really successful. But when you look at it, I've always said the Football Manager community crosses over into wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I've seen quite a lot of that. And you know, I've seen it more so than I do in other games, that whenever I'm on Twitch. It's mad that you can marry the 2, and you are actually the physical embodiment of the marriage of the 2.
Yeah. If you look at my 2K content, you go, you're just playing Football Manager with wrestlers. Because I don't even play the game. I've played the game. I've played 1 match on there, and let me tell you, I did that match about 4 or 5 times before I actually won the match.
Yeah.
I am terrible at 2K. Like, actually playing it, I've never owned it. This is the first one I've ever owned. The last wrestling game I ever played was SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. 14 years ago.
Wow.
I've never owned a WWE 2K game. But I bought this one to do Facebook content with because of the My GM mode, because it's basically Football Manager for wrestlers, and now I've built a career out of it without ever playing the game before. So I had no idea what I was doing. I played it around my friends once or twice years ago, 2K16 I think it was. I have not touched a 2K game in years, and I've never owned one before in my life.
It's madness, absolute madness. But it must be really exciting for you to know, and for you to give confidence within yourself, that you can actually diversify and move into different games like you have done with 2K, and in the future, whatever the future holds.
100%. Got a big love for F1. There's a new F1 Manager game coming out. In a year's time, Diz, we'll be talking about my F1 Manager channel that I've got.
Omega Luke races.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, obviously, where do you think you can go with your 2K content, your WWE 2K content, and in the future, I imagine you'll be playing AEW games and stuff like that as well. Where do you think you can go with your wrestling content?
Honest opinion, I think it'll be bigger than my main. I really do. The the outreach of the Wrestling 2K community is bigger just as a 2K community than Football Manager. But the fact that if you do Football Manager content, you can't talk about real life football. I've tried it. It doesn't work on my channel. Zealand is kind of gets away with it because Zealand is that big. But on the 2K side of things, if I haven't tried it yet, but every single 2K content creator who is good is also doing stuff about real life wrestling, whether it's just reacting to stuff, whether it's doing like predictions, reactions to actual events, you know, whether it's doing like tier list or whatever. They're all doing it, and they're all doing really well with it. So I genuinely think the ceiling of the 2K channel is far bigger than the ceiling for my FM channel. So I think I would not be surprised if we are sat here next year and my 2K channel has surpassed my Football Manager channel. I'm not saying it's a guarantee because obviously there's 25,000 subs in between that, a little bit over. But it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if we're sat here and my 2K channel is bigger than my main FM channel. Not a prediction, but yeah.
And then we're talking about your F1 being on 10K.
Yeah, that'll be above it because that's even bigger. So my 2K channel will be my second channel still because my F1 channel will be even bigger. And then the year after, I need to find a new game. Maybe I'll get into golf or something like that, like PGA.
PGA. Omega Luke hits. Oh, no, all right, we won't go there. Well, Luke, it's always great to have you on. Thank you so much for being on. You've had, since you were last here, which was about 13, 14 months ago, you've had a heck of a journey. And it's mad because once again, it seems like it's only just starting when you take into account the success of your second channel.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. Yeah, I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope it just keeps getting bigger. But always a pleasure speaking to you, Diz. Absolutely love the Scouting Centre and what you do. So it's absolutely fantastic. And I look forward to coming back next year.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to having you on because, yeah, I think you're quite inspirational. I think a lot of people can take a lot from you and your attitude. Like, it would have been really easy to give up to an extent and go back to part-time working after the Facebook thing happened. But the fact is, you use that as motivation to then create this whole brand new second channel from nothing, to the point you haven't even branded it yet.
No, it's still got Foot Manager stuff on it. All the tags, all everything.
FM22, I always talked to you about it earlier on today. I was just like, yeah, you probably need to change that.
Yeah.
But no, it's... Yeah. So what does the future hold for you then? Finally, what does the future hold for you?
I'm hoping I just keep getting to do this because as hard work it is, I love it. I absolutely love it. I enjoy just making videos. I enjoy the reaction they get, seeing the views and everything like that, and just enjoying myself with doing the competitions and with that community. I want to get to know the 2K community a little bit more. I've had brief DMs with one of the big creators there, but only one of them. I want to be more involved in that, whether that means collaborations, whether that means just being, a little Twitter follow, something like that. I want that to happen because I think that's really important, and you share ideas with people like that, like I've done in FM stuff with, Clates and Tom FM, people around my size who, RDF as well, like where I've spoken and shared ideas and stuff like that. I think it's always helped my FM side of things. I'd love to do that on the 2K side of things as well. So that's where I'd hope things go anyway, and that's where I'd want to go. Whether I start the F1 channel or not remains to be seen, but I definitely want to play that game for sure. And there's people who are going to be watching this who may be thinking maybe I should start an F1 manager content channel. Do it. Honestly, do it, because if it weren't for the fact of the Facebook contract, I would never have done the 2K channel, and now I'm earning more on the 2K channel than what Facebook was paying me. That month anyway. Probably not, it won't continue because it was just a bit of a burst, but for that month, yeah, and I could never dream of the views that I got. I mean, I passed 1 million views in a month, which is the first time I've ever done it, but that was, majority of it was the 2K channel, and I've never had that many views in a month than I have on the 2K channel. So
madness. No, it's great to hear, and yeah, 100%. We look forward to seeing your continued rise through the content creation world. But yeah, Luke, thank you so much for being on again.
thank you, mate. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, viewers, I hope you enjoyed that. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. In the comments below, let me know who you want to see a Mega Luke wrestle, and then also let me know who you want as future guests on the Scouting Centre. I'm always listening.
Simon
I hope
Miller.
Simon Miller. I want Simon Miller. I did DM him once. I might try again. But but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Do an introduction, and I'm going to feed you with how are you.
Yeah.
Pretty standard stuff, really. If you could then reply after I say how are you, that'd be great.
I'll go, oh, that's a thinker. Diz coming up with these difficult questions. Oh, how do I answer that?
Oh, God. Good fun, man. Good fun.
I'm genuinely tempted to answer that right now. Oh, how am I?